time for legs. Time for the lower portion, right? Time for the little trunks that keep this train fucking moving. So I was kind of on the fence about exactly which gym I wanted to go to for legs today. Because, I don't know. I mean, sometimes I bounce around, you know. It's not always the same gym. It's not always the same setting every lift. That's not just for fun. Different gyms have different stuff. So just thinking about like the kinds of just thinking about like the kinds of leg press and leg extensions and leg curls that I know I want to do tonight. I know exactly where I'm headed. A little more hardcore, a little more grungy than the YMCA or the Planet Fitness. I'm talking a Metro, right? Not Metro Flex. That'll be for well, that'll be for a separate trip. But no. So the nice part about this gym, frankly, every leg extension you've ever seen, or at least, you know, a solid fucking chunk of them. I think there's a line of 4, and then is it 2 more or 1 more? Either way, at least 5 leg extensions, and then I think 4 leg curls. Now some of those are repeat, like there's 2 of the exact same kind of laying leg curl, so it's kind of cheating a little bit. But you know, 6 o'clock on a Thursday, is that a crazy leg day? Is that crazy leg timing? If it was, I would not be stressing, right? Because this gym has got more than enough equipment to go around. But hamstrings first, of course, and then quads will really get there. Well, they'll really at least get a glimpse of approaching their maker. That's kind of what I'm aiming for. But hamstrings will be a little more chill. I'm talking just maybe 4 or 5 sets of hamstring curls. And the reason I'm comfortable with that on a hard quad day is because my hamstrings are they're going to come into play on some of that leg pressing. All right. So let's say I do. I'm not exactly sure which ones I'll end up doing, but let's say I end up doing the seated hip press. If I load up more than 6, 7 or so plates to the point where I'm really pushing weight, I get a lot of hamstring activation to the point where it's not negligible. Even honestly, I've had some quad days where I just did quads only, no hamstrings, and I kind of felt I felt like I almost pulled my hamstring because I didn't warm them up before getting onto the leg press, because they come into play just that much. But all that's to say is I think hamstrings are going to get as reasonable a stimulation as I would expect from just a regular hamstring pump without any quad activation. But after hamstrings, that's when I'll do a couple sets of leg extensions, get warm, get my knees ready, get a feel for everything pretty much. And then that's where I'm really going to have to dig deep. So probably not so much shoulder-based pressing for quads. So squats, even Smith machine squats, I think I need to cut them out when I'm dieting down, because it's just so taxing on my whole system. You know, like if I sit down on a leg press and I go totally fucking nuts, my lower back isn't fatigued. I mean, it might get like a minor pump, like a tiny one, but nothing crazy. Whereas if I do a set of like Smith machine squats and I really go crazy with it, then, I mean, yeah, I worked my quads. I worked them pretty good. I do like I do like Smith machine squats. But like the amount of energy that I have to burn, or expend might be a better word, to brace and hold the weight, and it gets much harder to hold your breath and actually keep breathing between reps. That stimulus to fatigue ratio might not be there as much, and might not, for me it just really isn't. So that's why for the quads, I think I'm gonna not resort, but bias a bit more pressing. So since quads is going to be the star of the show, I haven't drank my pre-workout yet. I'm going to slam it right as I walk in, so that by the time I finish hamstrings, it's kind of getting into gear. I'm just going to start to be feeling the caffeine, but not so much that I feel like I kind of burn out before the lift is over. You know, it's almost like I'm trying to time my caffeination to be primed at about 30 minutes deep, which hamstrings, just a light, or maybe not light, but just kind of a short hamstring session, not going to take me more than 30 minutes. And if it did, I would be surprised. There would have to be some serious chatting involved in between sets to get to take that long to do, 5 or 6 sets of hamstring curls. But no point discussing any further. Let's just go pump these legs up. Not the most complicated start. Light squeezing single leg standing leg curl. Burnout. No crazy reps, no crazy nothing. Left side first. Oh yeah, okay. Oh, this has got to be the most humbling stack I'm aware of. I'm doing 40, and that doesn't feel like I want to go any higher. And this stack goes up to 150. I would, let's just say I'd be surprised by the guy who could do a real legit set with the 150s here. One more, some leg curls, and honestly, that might be it. Nothing too complicated. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think that's enough of that. Let me just scoot over one machine's worth of distance. Dude, maybe, fuck. Well, how about we just get to the machine first before we start planning how many sets are gonna go down. Hefty enough, but this will be light enough that I can hold at least like close to a full second squeeze at the top. And then, switch to more burnout reps. Oh my. Oh my god, okay. Oh. Totally overestimated my strength. Oh my god. I gotta drop that to 110, not 150. And that wasn't a bad set. I still think that did something for me. But that was way too heavy, especially for a squeezing set. The next one will be a little more like what I had imagined. Oh my god, yeah. Oh. Yeah. I think that's enough for hamstrings. Let's get to the real star of the show tonight. All right. I'm feeling exceptionally strong
which I'm trying not to, let invade my mind and make me go heavier than I probably should. Because if you've ever done single leg extensions too heavy, all you end up doing is fucking making your knees sore and maybe pulling like one of your, hip flexors to upper quad, which I've kind of done both of. So even though it doesn't feel like the heaviest amount of weight, this will still be a good starter. And I'm thinking 5 reps on one side, 5 on the other, 5 on one, 5 on the other. Pretty controlled, pretty hard squeeze. Like I am kind of really focused on kind of implanting my brain into my quads and really feel something at the top. Because on like a leg press and a squat or whatever, like, you do the press, obviously you make sure you're pushing with your quads, but it's more just a fucking beefcake thing. This is a little more intentional and torturous. Those are the two descriptors I'm aiming for. Okay. One more like that. Maybe 2 more. And then move on to some kind of press. Oh my god. Okay. One more. This one will be nastier. And then move on to some kind of press. Oh. No. There we go. Oh my God. Okay. Now, now I get to decide what a good first pressing movement's going to be. Well, I ought to catch my breath before I make something like that. No. Headphones are dead. Pure thought-based motivation behind an 8-plate Pendulum hip press, which, based on the one feeler rep I did, and I didn't just throw 8 on here and say, let's go. Like I started with 4, then 6, then 8, which for this machine, 2-plate jumps don't feel that huge, but this feels about right. If I go insane, I could totally see 15 reps, but there's really no way of knowing. So usually this is when I would say, okay, let me get a good song going, but that's all right. That's all right. The music is a privilege. It's not a necessity. I just went to tap my ear to hit play. Okay, come on. Okay. Oh. 14 might have been an overestimate. But that's good though. I think I can totally still get 8 for at least one more set. So let's just take a minute and then make it happen. Oh, yeah. Oh, if this one's good, I'll be able to call it here and then go move on to a lighter press. I think I might, it sucks for me to say this, I don't even like to think it, but at least dieting, I think I might have been overdoing it on the heavy damaging pressing. But either way, let's just do another heavy damaging stuff. But only one more, I think. Okay. Oh my God, okay. Oh, holy crap. That's good. Honestly, I think even just a
pump focus superset might be a good quad finisher. Those two did, I think, more damage than I even expected. I'm still, there we go. I'm still feeling a little tenderness in my right knee. Not during leg press or even like heavy squats that I've been doing, but whenever I do like a deep sissy squat, it kind of bothers me a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and not do any of those, and instead just finish with a 5 rep alternating back and forth of left and right squeezing leg extensions. I went to load up 100 pounds for a single leg, and mind you, I think anybody who's lifted for a little while would be able to do the 100-pound single leg easily. And as soon as I do a few reps on one side, then switch to the other one, I got it up, and then it basically just like my quad collapsed. I think I may have gone a little too heavy on those leg press sets. Not to the points of like regret, but might have done me a little better maybe to stick to 7 plates, or maybe 6 on one, 7 on the other. But this will just be some squeezing pump kind of work. Go pose down and get out of here. Go eat something. I'm starving. All right. Okay, I can go one notch heavier now that I've kind of taken a breath. Oh, yeah. Let's just get a little extra blood in here. Let's go pose down. Scram. Good quad day. Okay. Quads feel decently pumped. Maybe not the most pumped that they've ever been, like in my freaking life, but yeah, for 150 grams of carbs throughout the entire day, especially with those hefty sets of leg press after 3 decently brutish sets of leg extensions, I'm cool with it. I am cool with it. And I wasn't lying. I was definitely feeling some hamstring on those sets of leg press too. But let's see just how they're looking. Oh, and then get ready to get out of here. Should be just about in focus this time. Oh, now we're actually starting to see some real quad feathering. As I get leaner, right here, this little portion, I'm excited to see just how nuts and kind of interesting it'll look. And this is with a quad pump, mind you. So when my quads are unpumped, they're actually a bit more defined and separated than they are right now. So honestly, that is a fucking cool sign for me. Not even 40. Well, actually, is this day 40? Well, either way, if it is barely 40 days into dieting and already seeing a touch of quad feathering, yeah, we are on track for a freaky ass spring. But until then, let's just keep up this day-to-day maintenance or maintaining of my deficit and then just go from there. So nothing else to say, but let's get in the car and go freaking eat something, man. I'm dying. Legs now complete. And frankly, I think we're asking the wrong questions. I think the fact that there's a discourse and like arguments and debates, that's good, right? An open dialogue is going to be conducive with the formulation of new, better ideas. But, it's all ego lifter versus science-based lifter. Compound movement versus machine fanboy. Whereas nobody's asking the really mind the word jumble, but nobody's asking the real question: Krollo or Hisoka, right? Frankly, I personally am getting quite excited about all these Hunter x Hunter chapters, and I hope that that does not stop. Frankly, I think Hunter x Hunter's a little underloved. A little underloved. It's probably just because it's long. Same thing with One Piece. Same thing with JoJo's a little bit. You know, it's like, oh, well, the first season, like, nah, come on, come on. I mean, this is kind of a specific community of lifters, right? If we're watching this leg day video, so you guys should have a pretty good grasp of delayed gratification, right? You don't need every show to be a freaking, 2-season wonder like JJK. All right, anybody with a little more, I would say, taste might be into the longer shows. But all that's to say is, oh my gosh, if there was another season of Hunter x Hunter and they did it right, that'd be nuts. I was in between sets. I was watching some TikTok edits to get myself excited, and I've been seeing a lot of Crollo Hisoka kind of stuff. Which, I mean, anybody, I see this a lot. It's like, oh, cartoons are, it's just a cartoon, man. It's for kids, right? And then, the guy watches 3 hours of Suits, an hour of Young Sheldon, and then, some Big Bang Theory. Right? At least if you're watching friggin' Naruto Shippuden, you can get amped up by the fact that, Sasuke got Itachi's eyes or some shit. I hope I didn't spoil anybody with that. That's kind of been long established. But either way, enough nerding out about the shows. That was a good leg day, and those hamstring sets hit me kind of hard. I think I know what was a little different about today's leg day versus the last one, or the last heavy one at least, and it's the fact that I think I was a bit more carved up. I was hanging at my parents' house today, and I couldn't help myself. They had some cookies, some of those like sugar cookies, the classic like store-bought ones. So I had two of those, 48 grams of carbs, 12 grams of fats, and what I would consider a negligible amount of protein. Had that at like noon or so. I had a whole bagel with some butter on it, about 55 grams of carbs, 15 of fats, and that's not including like the canned chicken and like some of the eggs and the protein shake I had before. But it was 50 grams of carbs from the bagel, about 50 grams from those two sugar cookies, which I mean, that's not a staple, but, I just kind of wanted a treat. So counting the carbs, I'm not going to just overshoot my limit like fucking crazy. And then what else did I have? Because I've got 150 grams of carbs tracked on my macro tracker. Bagel, cookies. Oh, yeah. Had took some of the leftover sushi in the fridge too. That added up to that extra 50 of rice. And that's half guessing. But if you count your calories for long enough, you're not really guessing anymore, right? Like I can look at a plate of food, and within a pretty reasonable degree of error, I could probably pump out the macros like some of those like those AI, visual kind of apps that I keep seeing people promote, which frankly I think is like total bullshit. That's just such a gimmick, But if you get enough practice with your food scale, then you'll know what 50 grams of protein worth of ground beef looks like, and you'll know what 80 grams of carbs worth of white rice looks like in a bowl, or 100 grams of carbs worth of like Raisin Bran, if you're going for that little breakfast cereal carb based vibe. But it's I really do think that that's a solid skill, because if I'm at the house and I've got my food scale in the kitchen, then of course I don't have to try to figure out, I don't have to guess like, okay, was that 80 grams or was that 60 grams? I got the scale right there to tell me. But you don't always have that. Let's say you get a school lunch, you want to, just get something off, goodness, like out of a vending machine. Well, usually those are going to have the labels. Or you go to a restaurant, you get some kind of actual regular meal, like just a cheeseburger or whatever. If you've got a bit more experience with the macro tracking, maybe have a few bites of that bisque. Yep, that's pretty rich. This whole bowl, yeah, probably about 35 grams of fat at least, maybe 40 just to be safe. Plug that into your phone, and then you can adjust for later. I really do think that that's probably one of the well, I'd say most versatile ways to go about it. Right? Obviously, the simplest way to go about it would be, prep 100 tubs or buy like a meal prep company's meals, where you basically plan it all out. Where you say, okay, I'm going to have 4 of these per day. 1 tub here, 1 tub here, 1 tub here, 1 tub here. At maybe 10, 1, 3, 7, or something like that. And you've got all the calories already calculated because you weighed out like this bowl is going to have 8 ounces of chicken, 150 grams of rice, or you could say 6 ounces of rice. I don't know if I know the conversion, but well, something like that. But then you can't really account for if you want to, go a little bit off the beaten path, right? So I don't want to only be restricted to specific meals that I've got like prepped out in tubs. Let's say I'm not in the house, I don't have some kind of tub meals, or I don't have like a minute rice that I can just plop in the microwave and make exactly how I want it. If I know what I'm doing in terms of like not guessing, but educatedly, coming up with the values of the macros of a certain meal just by looking, then you just kind of a little bit more of a, what's the word? Maybe more of a, well, just a smarter lifter. So that's my thing. And I mean, it's not the trickiest thing in the world to do. It's really just a practice thing. The easiest thing I do is whenever we'd go to Costco, we'd always get like this 5-pound not Ziploc, but like vacuum sealed tub of, or not tub, but just chunk of turkey breast. The whole thing, I mean, it's 5 pounds. It's a huge freaking thing. So, if I want 50 grams of protein per meal, which I think is about right, I know it's very contentious. It's like, oh, if you eat 100 grams at once, you're not going to digest it. You're going to, whatever. But probably 50 per meal is about right. So I guess I might agree with you there. But what was I about to say? Oh yeah. So if I want 50 grams of protein from that turkey breast, then I got to cut off a slice that looks about maybe 7/8 of an inch thick, depending on how big that part of the turkey is. And by doing it enough, I'd get to the point where sometimes I wouldn't even put it on the scale. I still would, just to kind of satisfy my own, like, okay, did I get it? But 7.9, 8.1, 8 most of the time. So I think that really is a pretty useful skill, calorie wise, or well, dieting wise. So I know I get into a bit of the dieting a lot more now that I'm dieting, but it really is pretty fucking important info. Just because if I want to change it up and I want to eat different meals and not get too bored of my diet, like if I eat the same food every day, every day of these next 3 or 4 months or so that I'm going to be lean, I'm going to get sick of it. And it's the same thing with the training. If you can't get excited by it and you're not really enjoying the process of doing it, then how can you expect to do it for a long time and go hard at it, right? Like if you've ever hyper fixated on something, then you can sit in your room for fucking 4 hours, studying the best bill for whatever, this, that, or the other. But, somebody tells you to do some Calc 3 equations, that's just not going to happen, So that's where I think the enlightened lifter has the ability to kind of not like, morph reality, but to go about his tasks and reach his specific goals in a way that, he can keep up with and enjoy doing. So I do not doubt that you're going to get diced if you eat, 30 grams of carbs worth of rice, 50 grams of protein worth of chicken, and then, maybe 6 ounces of broccoli 5 times a day. That would be, actually, that's actually kind of close to what my macros are right now, except for the fat. So maybe add like some butter or something. And that would put me at about what I'm doing. Like, that would totally work. But, I'd rather have my bowl of, like, kind of shredded canned chicken with 2 slices of American cheese melted into it together with a couple squirts of no sugar added Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, and have a little bit of kind of like a barbecue pulled chicken kind of thing. And that whole little bowl, which is pretty filling, only adds up to like 300 something calories. So I do have a little bit of a sort of a, I wouldn't say a Sam cookbook, but a couple of specific dieting, dieting recipes, which I go back to reasonably frequently. So over these next couple of weeks, I better try to document some of those. I've referenced them before. I'm talking some of the, some of the fat-free powdered peanut butter. I'm talking some of the, oh my god, thought my mic wasn't on for a second. But I'm talking some of the keto bread, turkey sandwiches with like low-fat mayonnaise, a lot of lettuce, a lot of mustard, some, basically some sloppy Joe type shit where it's same thing, lean beef, fat-free cheese, sugar-free barbecue sauce, all kind of mixed together. Like, really just switching from a regular food to that diet option as often as you can do it. That is an insane start. So, maybe next time you go to the, you stop at lunch and you're looking at the vending machine, you say, okay, should I get the Mountain Dew Voltage? Or should I get the Mountain Dew? Or should I get the Diet? Or should I get the Diet Dew? Frankly, I would love a 0-calorie Voltage, but nothing can be perfect, I guess. So, plan for me now is go home, eat a very protein-focused meal, shower off because I fucking stink, go to sleep, and then get ready for a freaky-ass chest pump tomorrow. I think I might want to start doing some cold showers in the morning. I've done those pretty consistently when I diet down. Haven't done it this dieting phase yet, and I think I know why. It's because it's hard. It's fucking hard doing a cold shower. But maybe I'll see what happens. How about I update you to tomorrow on whether or not I had a hot one or a chilly one. But until then, just get macro tracking on your mind, right? Maybe let me say it 3 times straight. Macro tracking, macro tracking, macro tracking. Maybe I need a little pocket watch here to kind of hypnotize you into it, but whatever works. So I guess I'll just see you for chest tomorrow.